Hey YouTube, it's Robin. I'm back. When I was deciding what to do for my next video, I was like, well, nothing I can really offer yet as I don't start my prereq classes for nursing until next month, August 22nd. So I decided to think back about when I was really first deciding to go back to school. What were some things that I was wanting to know? So many things were going through my mind. I didn't really know where to start. I was kind of, well, where do I go to school? What's the best place for me to go to school? So I really had to sit down and ask myself some questions, and eventually I sat down with my husband and talked with him as well, and he's been awesome and a good support for me. But there were just some things I kind of need to work. I really do. My paycheck pays for a lot of extra things for the kids, and little bills I've acquired myself since I started working. I don't ask him to pay that stuff. I pay that stuff. But I'm like, if I'm not working anymore, who's going to be doing all that? Should I still work? Should I not work? I have a good girlfriend who is a nursing student at a school by me, and it's kind of funny because when we first met, our boys play travel baseball together, and when I first met her, I saw her and I really liked her, and then I didn't see her for a few games or practices, and I asked her husband, I'm like, where's Heather? I don't see her anymore. And he's like, she's a nursing student, she's taking classes or whatever. And I'm like, really? Where? Because I said I was thinking about going back to school, and he's like, pick her brain. So I'm like, okay. So I got with her and asked her questions and things, and she gave me a lot of advice. But some of the questions I just had to ask myself and talk with my husband about were, do I continue to work and go to school, or is that better? Okay. Do I continue to work and go to school? Do I quit working? And with talking to Heather, she's like, during prereqs it was hard, and it took her quite a few years to do her prereqs because she was going part-time and in the evenings, a couple classes on the weekends. Her kids are 13. Her oldest is the same age as my youngest. They're the ones that play ball together. And then her youngest daughter, she's so cute, and she's a Spitfire, and she's like 4 or 5. And so she had young kids at home, and while doing this, so she just steadily kept going. She just finished her first year of clinicals, and I thought that was awesome. But she said, Robin, when you get to clinicals, if you can do it, don't work. It's just hard. It's just too hard. Some people do it, and she said, I don't know how they do it. They have to do it. So that was a thing for me. So I talked with my husband, and he said, I know you, meaning me. He knows I'm worried about having enough time for the kids still, getting them to their things, their games and their practices and such. And he's like, I just think going to school should be your new job. If you can go to school, if it could work out to where you could go during the day, and then the few hours in the evening to get them to wherever, and then when we get home, that I have the rest of the night to do homework or projects or whatever. And of course, he'll help me out too, but he travels back and forth with work, so he's home half the week and gone half the week. So that was not an option, but something I really had to think about. And I decided that, yeah, going to school full day during the day would be the best for me and my family. So then working in the school system, I knew, what, let me hop on the Department of Education website and look up nursing programs. And in fact, I actually think I first Googled, I love Google. I went on Google and I typed in something like nursing passing rates for, I think I typed in something like nursing passing rates for Delaware, or whatever, and I typed that in, and it took me to the Department of Education website. And it had the colleges, so you can do it for your state, California, Illinois, Florida, wherever, and it just happened to have ours racked and stacked, all the colleges in the state, and there's quite a few in the state. And it was kind of neat because it went from 2006 to 2010, because 2011 students hadn't graduated yet, and so you could click on any year, and then it had them racked and stacked from most successful to least successful or passing rate. It told it showed the percentages of graduates that actually finished the program, and then it showed their NCLEX, how many of them passed, the percentage rate of passing the NCLEX, which is the, for any of you not fully well known with the nursing program, after graduation from your nursing program, before you can become a licensed registered nurse, you know, you have that piece of paper saying you can be a nurse, you take this huge kick your butt test called the NCLEX. So I was really quite surprised, can I tell you. I was like, wow, because we have state colleges, we have some private colleges, we have some community colleges, we have some hospital programs and hospitals that have a, you know, nursing program, and we have some state universities, and I was like, it was an eye-opener. And I work very near one of those schools, and they are very expensive, and the last 4 or 5 years they're at the bottom. And I was like, wow, I would never ever ever have thought that. And so the #1 school across the board happened to be a hospital program, and I was really interested in that. So I got online, you know, I got my first few choices based on, you know, success rate, based on location and things, and so I took that, and then I went to their individual websites, and I just started, I did my pros and cons for each school. You know, do they offer the day classes? Do they offer night classes? Prerequisites, can I take them there? Do I have to go somewhere else and transfer? Because that might be a pain in the rumpus, you know. So that helped me a lot. And so my #1 choice is 45 minutes south of me. And if it were just my husband and I, or just myself, you know, to me, I would have done that. I would have done that. But it's at the beach. And around here in the spring and in the summer, where I'm located, there's one way in and one way out. I mean, you can go out, up, over, and around, but you're adding another 45 minutes to that to go out and around the long way to get there. Spring and summer, people hitting the beach. We live in a kind of a central location, so you have people from all these other states coming down and hitting the beach on the weekends or on holidays and stuff. There's no way I'd be able to get home in time at a decent hour to get my kids to their stuff. So as good of a program as that was, because my family is a #1, that one was no longer in consideration. So I went to my next couple, and I really was kind of ADN, RN, ADN versus a BSN, meaning a 2-year versus the 4-year degree. Now I knew the 2-year degree would actually be 3 because I do have prerequisites to do, but I started doing the comparisons, and I talked to some other nurses, and I watched YouTube video after YouTube video of all these wonderful nursing students and new nurses, and I decided the ADM program was for me. And later on, I'm keeping that bridge open for the bridge program to further on my BSN if I choose to do that, which I think I will, just because, you know, I'm gonna dot my I's and cross my T's, but we'll see. But for now, I'm doing the ADN RN. So once I got, oh, and then a friend of mine said, you know what, Robin, look into such and such hospital, because I think they have a nursing program. It wasn't the nursing program down south that had a nursing school, but this hospital chooses so many people. I think it's more need-based, so many students, and they will pay and put you through school. And then, so let's say they pay and put me through a 3-year program. I would turn around after graduation and passing my NCLEX, I turn around and I work the same amount of years for them. So that could be at one of their sites around the state. It could be at a vet hospital. It could be at a mental health facility, a state hospital, hospice care. It could be in a nursing home. Just some places where maybe it might not be someone's first choice to work, but nonetheless, it's a guaranteed job. They're putting you through school. You give great care to others, you know, being a nurse that you want to be. Nursing, as we know, is not about money. It's about helping others and giving back. So really, if you're interested in something like that and you might need some help paying for school, look into your state and call different hospitals and see if they have a program like that. I've never heard of it. I never saw it advertised anywhere. I read the paper all the time. It's just kind of a word by mouth thing. That's what I'm saying. Open your mouth and talk to others, and you're going to find out so much information. So that really might be a great avenue for somebody. I'm sorry, I keep glancing down. I am a nerd. I have my notes. I wanted to try and keep it somewhat short but sweet. First or foremost, though, depending, you kind of need to know with these programs and such. Are you going to have to pay for school yourself? Are you going to be able to qualify for Pell Grants, government loans, whatever? So go to fasfa.ed.gov. I'll put that down below and start there. You have to fill out a FAFSA form. It takes a little bit of time, I'm not going to lie, but you're going to need your tax information, all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't matter where you go, you're going to need that information. So I would just go ahead and get that started. Now, what I didn't understand was my girlfriend asked me, well, do you want to start this summer or do you want to start in the fall? And I'm like, I think I just really need the summer to decompress. You know, I work with middle schoolers and I was just hoping to get through the summer and just kind of relax and get things I needed. So she was like, okay, well, even though you start fall of 2011, you're going to have to fill out your 2012 FAFSA, because even though it starts 2011, it goes from fall through the next summer. Okay, so I had to fill out my 2012 FAFSA starting for fall 2011, going through the summer. That will follow me through the summer of 2012. If I wanted to start this summer, once school was out this last June, if I wanted to start during that summer, I would have also had to fill out my 2011 FAFSA, because that's when that ends, is through the summer. So if that helps anybody. So, you know, really just kind of sit down and see what your needs are, see what you're able to do as far as transportation. Do you have your own vehicle? How far away are these schools? Do your comparison and your contrast, you know, will I be able to transfer later, transfer my credits? You know, if you wanted to start one place somewhere cheaper, like a community college or a Volk school or whatever, and then transfer over to a BSN, you know, call that university or that state college and say, hey, I'd like to come to you in a couple years. I was thinking of going here and taking these classes. Will they transfer to you? I know my school in particular has a university that they have a bridge program with. So what I take will transfer. Everything will transfer over to them. So that's wonderful. And that helps a lot. I was going to say something else. My next video is going to be more or less now, once I found out where I wanted to go, where I realized where I wanted to go, the steps I took and things I did to get the ball rolling. Also, I want you to check out in your state, if you're a parent of a high schooler, our state has what they call a SEED program, S-E-E-D. And if your child is in high school and they're getting C's across the board and they're passing school, they can go to our community, one of our community colleges here for free. Their first 2 years are free. It's an incentive to stay in school and to do well in school, and they get to go for free. So also check in with, that might be an option for you. Again, check in with a state or university that they'd want to finish at and say, hey, this is where my child's thinking of going for our SEED program. This is what they would be taking or whatever. What courses, what things would you accept? And that might be something that helps them figure out where they want to finish their education at. So I hope this helped. Rate and subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.